Hello everyone, welcome back to the discussion lab. And today we're going to talk about facta non-verba, action, not words. And I'll tell you the reason behind this title. So sometime past, I was talking to a family member, more like a sister to me. Whilst we were talking, she told me that someone had promised her something, right? Someone that she relied on had promised to do something for her. And it was quite interesting for me because this was not the first or second or even third time that I was hearing from her that this same person had promised her to do something. And so I inquired of her, so what happened the first time the person promised you? And she told me the person failed to act upon the promise. And the second time, the same. And again, I inquired about the time, and guess what? It was the same thing. There was no action to this promise. And I thought that was interesting. Fast forward, I was talking to another family member of mine, very dear to my heart, who was going through a hard time. And within that time, her friends or some of her friends had promised to stand by her side and be behind her. And when the going got tough, everyone kind of wavered along the line, right? Because you kind of tend to understand them a bit. Things get tough, and so most of the people who gave her a word that they would support her and be by her kind of fell along the wayside. And now this first person called me again, the person that had another person promise her a couple of times. And then it got me thinking. And then I asked her, hey, you remember the secondary school you went to, right? So back home, most of us go to a senior high school. Most of them are single sex. And every one of these schools has a motto they live by. And hers was Facta non-verba. So the school was called Holy Child School in Ghana, in Central Region, Cape Coast. And their motto was Facta non-verba, action, not words. And so it got me thinking, and I asked her, have you ever thought about your school's motto? She doesn't go to that school anyway, first one. She's way done, she's completed. And then she said yes. Why? I'm like, have you ever tried to live by that? And so that's the story behind this. And then she asked me, why am I saying that? And I told her that, like, as we're getting older, you have to get to a point where you hold people accountable for their actions, not only their words, right? Now, bear in mind, if you do not know someone and you've never had to deal with someone before, you have to take their word because that's all you have. So if someone tells you, I will meet you at this time, you have to take their word because you do not know them. But if you've had a couple of dealings with a person, now their actions should supersede their words. And so you have to hold people accountable for their words when you've had some dealings with them before. So I told her the first point, and that's what I want to share with you, that actions show truer intentions, right? Words can be manipulative, actions not so manipulative. It's very difficult for someone to keep pretending to do something that they really do not want to do. And so the first point against it, actions show truer intentions. Words can be manipulative. And let me break it down for you. Many of us, I'm sure, have had people promise us and failed along the way. They have to get to a point that is easier said than done. You've heard that before, right? Easier said than done. It's very easy to say things, but to actually show up and do the work, many of us fail. And so please, just like what I told that family member of mine, when things get tough, when you're dealing with people and you had an encounter with them more than once, let their actions show. And sometimes that action can even be in their past, right? Watch their past dealings. How have they dealt with people? What have their actions been? And what makes you think you are special, that you get any special treatment? Second point that I want to mention is that oftentimes the action reflects their long-term intentions. Think of it this way. If you meet someone and the person is interested in you, wants to date you, and they tell you all the nice things you really want to hear and all of that, now their actions should start weighing more. If someone really respects you, they have to respect your time, right? And so if they don't show up on time, you have to start to question their actions. Actions really reflect the long-term plan. If someone tells you, I want to study to become a medical doctor, that's great to hear. Now, what actions are they putting in place? Are they taking courses that would help them become the medical doctor they say they want to become? If someone tells you that I really would love to lose weight, right? And the person tells you, I'm telling you that I'm going to lose weight this year. Fine, that's good. What are they doing? Are they waking up earlier to do some exercise in? Are they cutting down on the amount of food they are eating? The point is, people can say anything they want. But if you really want to understand someone's long-term goal, watch their actions. If you don't know them, that's okay. Take what they tell you. But once you start dealing with them more than once, action over words anytime. And so back to the topic, facta non verba, action, not words. And now guess what? Now this will lead to the third point. Action will build trust or erode trust. After you dealt with someone for over a period of time, intrinsically you realize that you tend to trust the person more or less, not based on their words, but based on their actions. And so sometimes you also have to listen to your instinct. What is your instinct prompting you about this person? What has their actions been over the time? Have they been someone that their action matches their words? If no, then why are you trusting them again? Has someone cheated you out of a business deal or some kind of friendship, some agreement you had with a person, and they really apologize and you forgive them, and their signs, what do the signs tell you? Are they living in a way that you think that they've really changed or not? Action always speaks louder than words. And so I'm at a point where you can tell me anything, I'll listen to you, but trust me, actions always beat words. And it applies to me myself, right? There was a point where I used to talk a lot. Oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to start losing weight. I'm going to start a podcast. I'm going to start recording my podcast. So many things. I used to promise a lot. And it was one of my cousins many, many years ago. Just randomly, we were going for a walk and she told me that, you promise a lot and you don't do anything. And that really hit a nerve in me. It hurt me so much. I didn't say anything, but I went home and I started thinking about it. It wasn't my intention to really not match up to my words, but I realized that I have not been accountable. This was many years ago in my early 20s, right? After that conversation I had with my cousin, I decided that, you know what? I'm going to try, because I'm a talkative. That's why probably I'm having this podcast, right? I'm going to try to talk less and do more. And so I will not tell you people exactly everything I'm going to do, not because I'm trying to hide anything from people. No, my reason was I'm trying to let my actions speak louder than words. And so if I want to show someone that I'm consistent with something, why say it? Let my actions show. If I want to show someone that I'm preparing towards something, why say it? Let my actions show. And so I hope that you've really gotten something from this. You have to start holding people accountable for their actions, not their words. Facta non verba, action, not words. But hey, what do I know? I know nothing. I'm just a naive observer. Peace.